Hey, so I'm here to talk about my design folder for this year. It was over breakfast cooking. We made a muffin. So how my group started to figure out how we were going to make our muffin and create like our muffin to where we could be able to show through our MYP design folder how we learned about the differences between muffins and cupcakes. Basically, we had to start off with the problem. The problem is that the lack of good and quick meals or snacks to help teens stay full and give them energy while still being healthy. This is where we started to do our research, and we looked into a bunch of different videos over certain types of like how people were able to change recipes for different restaurants such as McDonald's. When we looked at the McDonald's video, it showed us that it took McDonald's up to 4 years to make a new product, such as like a frappe or the new garlic white cheddar burger. And I thought it was really cool because I actually work at McDonald's, and I did not know that it took them that long to make or decide whether or not they are able to do a certain recipe. We also went into the spice lab. We got to try different spices and talk about how or what different spices go into different types of foods, such as like turmeric might go into some types of some different types of like curry. We also went through the sauce lab, and we made a velouté or a bechamel sauce, and it could be included in a muffin, especially through like a savory muffin. International flavors like French or Indian, we could definitely do those. French, we could include like a lavender or rosemary taste. And then we looked at the differences between muffins and cupcakes. The differences mainly between muffins and cupcakes is the different types of batter that you are able to use. Cake flour is more of a light, air-filled batter, and then muffins you use all-purpose flours to make it seem like more thicker, more to the savory side really. Texture, cupcakes are light and fluffy, delicate. Muffins are really dense and kind of hearty. You can really add more like spices to muffins than what you can cupcakes. Muffins are really weird. They can either be savory or sweet. Cupcakes can be mainly sweet. So when we hit the developing ideas part of our design folder, we had to set out the rules, and some of the rules was how we had to be original, and we couldn't use commercially prepackaged foods. So when we looked into our design folder, we had to come up with 3 different ideas of muffins that we could do and then present them to our group. And my 3 were a peach cobbler crumb muffin, a cheesy jalapeno cornbread muffin, or a German corn dog muffin. None of my ideas which got picked. I think it was Zoe's that her idea had been our final muffin, but our final muffin was a raspberry chocolate cheesecake muffin. We all really liked how she explained the use of raspberries with the cheesecake, how we would insert it into the cheesecake itself. So after that, we made up our own recipe for the raspberry chocolate cheesecake muffin, and we put that in our design folder, and we had to choose our included ingredients. While we prepared for our muffins, we made them one day, and we noticed how we had to thicken the raspberry topping. So we had to add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch to water and mix it in with the raspberry puree. That way we could thicken that and make it more of a jam. Then we put our instructions in our design folder, and we had to basically create how we were going to make our muffin as our final product, and to where we can show it to the entire class. After that, the entire class said that our muffin tasted really great. We got mostly all 5s, from a 1 to 5 scale, 5 being the best, out of 10 responses. And people said mainly what they liked about our muffin was how the chocolate to cheesecake ratio had happened. One thing that they did say that we could have fixed was add more chocolate chips to where the muffin could be a little more sweeter and make the glaze less runny, because the raspberry glaze had not been as thick as we wanted it to be. We could have also added a little bit more salt to the recipe. That way it could give it a pop of extra flavor. And then what they said they disliked about the plating, they said the raspberry glaze on top was just a little bit too runny, and we could have plated it a little bit better at the end. But overall, we were very proud of how well we worked together, and I'm really proud that my group was able to pull through and create such an amazing recipe that we may be able to use later in life.